So I'm really not a farmer. When I came here and started to build relationships with my neighbors, the things that interest them became my interest. And I started to build around myself some of the things that were in their life, so it would be a common conversation. Some of my neighbors had sheep. I bought sheep. I learned to shear sheep so that I could shear their sheep. They would talk to me about horses. I ended up with horses. I ended up plowing because they needed somebody to plow in their fields. I found myself fixing machinery, welding, nailing boards, putting hay in barns. And while I'm doing this, I find myself building authentic relationships with my neighbors. They begin to call on me, they begin to talk with me. They begin to share, after the work was done, they would share with me just what was on their heart. It was a real listening time for me. And many times we would just sit there and just talk about one another's lives and build authentic relationships. And oftentimes it would come around to my relationship with God and their journey, how God is bringing them close to the cross. My name's known in the community as being the preacher, and the reason for that is because a friend that I met, he was a farmer. I'd spend my Mondays there fixing and doing some repairs on his machinery, and he called me the preacher. And from there, they began to call me the preacher in the community. So being known as the preacher, I get lots of privilege at hearing people's story. People just tell me what's going on in their life and talk to me about the disappointments in their life and also the areas of victory in their life. And I get to sit down and have a coffee with them and hear what God's doing. They can't necessarily identify that it's God, but after talking with me, I can show them that it's God taking care of them or walking them through a difficult time in their life. I've seen my neighbors come to the church. I've had neighbors come into my office and ask how they could be saved and pray to receive Christ. And that's what the farm's taught me, is that we can use what God has given to all of us. For me, it's the farm. For you, it's something completely different. We can connect with people and be sincerely interested in them, build a relationship with them, and in our minds think the only thing that I couldn't live with is if I left these people behind.